Generators come in all shapes, sizes and configurations. Some are gargantuan, others can fit in your lap. Some have dozens of stator coils and fewer magnets, others have the opposite. However, a variable that is central to power generation is the thickness of the wire itself. During my time as a tinkerer, I have designed and built 2 generators based on my ModuCoil design. ModuCoils are my design for a specialized bobbin that holds a stator coil, and as the name implies, these are modular and can integrate into whatever application you wish. In my case, generators. The design of my ModuCoils has changed significantly over time across versions. However, while the version 1 used 0.4mm wire, every version since then has used 0.2. The idea was that by using thinner wire, I could wind more turns and hence get more voltage out of each coil. The thing is though, I've never directly compared thinner versus thicker wire in terms of actual performance, and that is what we're going to be doing in this video. This is my modular space coil winder that I built in a previous episode, and I'm going to use it to wind the coils that we're going to compare today, as well as the coils that I'm going to be using in my new generator. It's configured in such a way so that one turn of the final gear of the transmission results in roughly 5.5 turns of wire around each coil. So first up, since the spool of 0.4mm wire was already placed on my coil winder, I wound the 0.4mm coil first. I wound approximately 110 turns of 0.4mm wire around this coil by turning the drive gear 20 times. After I'd finished winding that one, I swapped the 0.4mm spool for the 0.2mm spool, and I began winding the second coil. This time, we're going to be winding 440 turns of 0.2mm wire around this coil, and that meant that I had to hand crank the drive gear of my coil winder around 80 times. After I had finished winding both coils, this is what they look like. The reason I wound 4 times as much 0.2mm wire as I did 0.4mm wire is because of the relationship between cross-sectional area and wire thickness. This means that when you halve the thickness of the wire you're using, that wire is going to have a quarter of the cross-sectional area. And this means that we need 4 times as many windings to reach the same amount of copper as is in the 0.4mm coil. And now that we've wound our 2 coils, it's now time to test and compare. Here is the Hallback array rotor that I've salvaged from my V2 generator. I used this to test the coils by placing the coils near it, followed by spinning the rotor with my hand. But before I do that, let's compare the resistance. Because the wire is thinner in the 0.2mm coil and we're using 4 times as much, we get a rather high resistance of around 22 to 23 ohms for that coil. The 0.4mm coil, however, has a much lower resistance of 1.4 ohms. When we compare the voltages produced by them, we can see that the 0.2mm coil outputs a maximum of around 3 volts, whereas the 0.4mm coil tops out at around 600 millivolts. Although this is just a very rough test, and both of these would likely perform better in a fixed assembly like a fully assembled generator. However, this test is just to give you a rough idea of what to expect with different wire sizes. Thinner wire sizes are going to give you a much higher resistance, but because they're thinner, you're going to be able to wind more turns around a coil and achieve higher voltages. The opposite is true for thicker wire that has lower resistance but takes up more space around the coil. In conclusion though, I think that for small DIY scale projects like my generator I'm about to build, I think that the 0.4mm wire I have would be the best option. With the 0.2mm wire I was using, yes, as you see in the videos I've made on my previous generator versions, I did get appreciable voltages. However, if I was to attach a load to those generators, those voltages I'd imagine would drop almost instantly, because the amount of current that those coils were producing was absolutely minuscule. And although in this video the thicker wired coil had a much lower voltage in the test, it also had a dramatically lower resistance. with the 0.4mm coil producing between half a volt and 600 millivolts and having a resistance of 1.4 ohms. Theoretically, that coil alone could sustain a load of 400 milliamps or so before seeing a voltage drop. And in a generator with constant rotation and being accompanied with other coils, that performance can only be amplified. That isn't to completely discount the use of thinner wires, especially if you can have large coils with lots of it, where you can produce ridiculously high voltages and then step them down. But for small scale DIY benchtop generators, thicker wire gauges are generally the way to go. And there's also physical caveats as well. Thicker wires are going to take up more physical space on a stator coil. However, thinner wire is more fiddly to work with and is a lot more difficult to terminate because of how fragile it is. It's much more difficult to, say, crimp 0.2mm wire than it is 0.4. As with 0.4, there's more material to grab onto and the wire is less prone to breaking. Anyway, now that I've made my decision, I'm going to go and get stuck in on building my next ModuCoil based generator. Thank you all for watching. Take care, stay tuned, and I will see you all next time.